Right, Jerry, would you categorize yourself as being on the far left, as in that quote, that you have not come to understand the benefits of President Obama thus far?
I'm probably more liberal than the president. But when I read that article, I'd have to say it's a very good article. When he's saying that the critics are dumb, I mean, obviously that's a headline to grab your attention, but it's not really that the people are dumb. It's to say that they're missing a point of how he's been successful in a very difficult time. Well, I think he's been incredible. He saved our financial system when it was just about to go under. People had lost almost half of their life savings in pension funds and things like that. So clearly that. He saved the auto industry. He got Osama bin Laden. The economy is now growing. We have added in the private sector 2.6 million jobs in the last 2 years. I mean, the fact of the matter is he's doing very well. And it is a little disingenuous for here we are at Fox complaining that, gee, Newsweek may be a little partisan.
Well, they've had a pretty good track record. By the way, this same guy who wrote this article, I believe, is the same person who tried to start that whole conspiracy about Sarah Palin's Down syndrome son and whether or not it was actually her child. So take that into note. Gretchen, could you ever imagine a Newsweek cover or any magazine cover that would have said, why are President Bush's critics so dumb?
No, I mean, I thought this was kind of childish in a way to say that his critics are dumb instead of actually talking about what they're saying and why they're saying it and getting to the root cause of why we are criticizing this president and why we criticize all presidents. I mean, this is nothing new. A president is up for critique. His agenda is up for critique. But this was about selling magazines. This is a fledgling magazine, and you're in the magazine business. Yeah. You know.
To that point, I wouldn't fault any magazine for having a controversial headline that can sell some magazines. And yes, I think that we would see, or we could see, a magazine cover that said, why are President Bush's critics so dumb, if it would sell magazines and if there was a good point to make. And I think Andrew Sullivan made a lot of good points. Again, saying that that people who shouldn't be overlooking the president's accomplishments are overlooking them.
Well, somebody else wrote an article in response saying, why are President Obama's critics so smart? Yeah. And here were some of the points: that they understand the mood of the country, they reject big government, they support a strong foreign policy, they show respect for opposing views, and they're aware of the administration's gaffes. Jerry?
Yeah, well, I'm sure there are a lot of people that don't like what President Obama is doing. But I'll say it once again. If the point of this discussion is to be upset with a magazine that, even if it took the position that they're pro-Obama, again, everybody in the media is doing things like that. We're here on Fox News every single day. In fairness, you guys every single day bash President Obama.
I'm going to take you to task on that. I'm going to take you to task on that because on this panel right here, we have a fair and balanced panel right here.
Exactly. And
I'm the independent.
What's the rest of the show? The rest of the show, every single morning, you guys are slamming Obama. You know you are. And I'm not saying you don't have a right to, but every single conversation is something bad about Obama.
Well, be that as it may, I think the point is that someone who says, well, the president's critics are dumb, that's their opinion. I think to talk about a bad foreign policy or the mood of the country, that's an opinion, and I think Sullivan in Newsweek took the perspective that the mood of the country ought to be, look at what he did with the financial crisis, look at what he did with the auto industry, look at where the country was, and that's his opinion. I think totally fair game and good points.
And by the way, Jerry, you obviously don't watch our show because you do not understand that there's a reason. I'll speak for myself. I sit in the middle as the independent on the panel. And quite frankly, we present both sides of the story, and we leave it up to our viewers to decide where they fall.